Live on YouTube.
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some people you just can't reach. And I don't like it any more than you.
Unmute. Unmute. You mute this button. Unmute. Unmute. He'll get it. Don't worry. Yeah. Nah. Yes, sounds good. Hey, how's it? Tell us what you are doing here, Steve. Nah.
all these topics, I still get a little peeved when I see or don't see the activity that we should be seeing in our community, that our leaders are helping businesses to survive, and they're not.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the local community is something to think about. I know that we're going to talk about a lot of national issues a little bit, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. Okay, let's go ahead and toss that potato over. Steve, who are you going to toss it over to?
Let's go to Zach.
Hey, thank you, Steve. So yeah, I'm Zach Freitas. I'm a local singer-songwriter around here. I come from Hollister. I am very fortunate to be able to move over here. I live in Pacific Grove now, which is really nice, and I was able to score a place without shared walls, so I can play music and scream until 4 a.m, which is awesome. But yeah, I totally feel with what Steve is saying. You know, I haven't been able to gig since October, so yeah, I really feel for local businesses. Am I supposed to share the topic that I wanted to talk about tonight, or
Yeah, go ahead, shoot it up.
Go for it.
Yeah,
What's your hot topic?
I'd like to talk about the lockdowns as a national issue, and it's definitely a local issue as well too.
Okay. We'll get that on there.
Good.
Cool. All right, so I'm passing on the hot potato to Carla.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Am I unmuted?
There you go.
Can you hear me now? Hi, I am Carla, and I'm reporting in from Cleveland this evening. Thank you to Jedi for having me on the show. I am a new mom, and I just got the baby down to sleep. The soothing sound of all of you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, in and out of the call, and I don't know if I have a hot topic tonight other than just came on to participate, and
Well, we appreciate it.
a face and a voice, and I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
Now toss that over to Josh.
Hello, I'm Jedi, and I do all the tech stuff here, and I'm all first of the year, new year out. We're all prepped up and ready to go for the spaceships to land, and for the alien communications to come through, for everybody to be open-minded and ready to receive a better year. At least that last one, anyway. Back to you, Jay. Get us started.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I kind of wrote out a little thought here about my hot minute. So let me go ahead and read it off to you, and we'll go from there. My minute thought for the year. Tonight is December 30th, 2020. Tonight is the end of a year of doom and gloom. We will take a look at some of the hot moments of the year. Speaking of hot, we had fires raging all over the globe this year. We had COVID-19 reveal its ugly head, and it has taken so many victims, over 300,000 Americans, and globally nearly 2 million lives lost. And the many treatments that were offered and are offered now to mask up and socially distance or 6 feet under, to global shutdown of epic proportions, unemployment rise, economic collapse, the loss of breath from George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and so many more. To the question, do Black Lives matter? You know, show solidarity as people, that we unite over. We can unite. Can unite over wrong. Okay, to so many other famous deaths that rocked our world. We'll get to that later. To the many pluses of life, learning to breathe. Thanks to Liela, she taught us how to breathe. more time with family, playing, school for real with your kids in the living room, communities coming together to give all over the place, doing good work for citizens as we did the census where you counted, then the presidential debates, and the will you just shut up man that was heard all over the world, and the elections. Many worked to keep them secure. Many more voted. The DNC is still problematic, yet record turnout votes. Some were voting the virus to go away. And, well, now we have so many more vaccines that are being accepted and being administered. We will have a new president and a new vice president, our nation's team mom. So many firsts to go to our young nation. We're going through our nation's growing pains, and some are perplexing and some are seriously funny. My message is I hope we as a nation can unite as one in the year 2021. And I don't know if you like that or not, but that's what I have to say.
Yeah. I dig it, Jay.
So, yeah, I'm open to anything. Zach, if you want to talk about the shutdowns that are going on, go for it.
Well, at first, you know,
You got a hot minute. You got a minute right there. Go ahead.
At first, we were all agreeing with it. We all complied with it because that was the greater good, we were told. And now it's just become a perpetual lockdown. And I heard something this morning that California Governor Newsom has announced that there will be perpetual lockdowns. And what is this, our second right now? This isn't going to be the first pandemic either. There's bound to be a bigger one. I've heard talk about that. It's sad. It's really sad, these lockdowns, especially right now, what it's done to local businesses, artists like myself. People are losing their livelihoods. And I feel like we're going to have more deaths of despair than deaths of COVID. You know, addictions are spiking. Suicides are spiking. This stuff is all very real. And, you know, there's no guarantees in this world. I mean, like you can take a ride to work and you can die in a car wreck. You know, you can go down some stairs and fall down and die. So with a 99.9 survival rate, there's no reason to have lockdowns.
Wow. Okay. Man, my grandmother-in-law got COVID. I think that's how you say that. She's 84 years old, super high risk, and she's in a very good place. She's have the best care available in the nation for nursing homes type thing, and fortunately, she was able to come through the other side of it. So, yeah, I don't know. She was locked down when it happened. That's the truth. So, I mean, how can you
That's very
escape it?
interesting.
Like if you're in a retirement home and your whole community is locked down, you can't even see your significant other, and you're still getting COVID. What's the lockdown doing? It's
Yeah,
stopping
obviously
people
it's
from
not
working.
Hmm.
Entertainment industry is completely shuttered, and the most powerful lobby in the world, Hollywood, could barely even get off the ground this year. So, yeah, it's a rough topic. But that's my hot minute on it. I'm going to toss it over to Steve and put another minute on the clock.
Well, I agree with you, Zach. You know, we did comply. We thought, you know, let's follow the rules, and there's still rules. We still want to follow the rules. I think as time went by and, you know, science started figuring things out, we have the therapeutics now to keep more people alive. And again, one death is too many. I think we really vacillated on what to do, what was right, what was wrong. And I think here, even in California, Newsom still can't figure it out. So there are areas that are, again, I know they're open. They tell me. I have family and friends like you do in other parts of the state. And we don't have one model. Look at Florida with the, you know, Disney's open. Why can Disney be open in Florida and Universal that can't be open in California. So I don't want to get into the Democrats versus Republican thing, but you know, to me, it's pretty obvious that it's a lot about control at this point.
Yeah. It's weird. Who's next? Who you throwing it to?
So I have a question for you guys.
Go for it.
What about Carla? You got something to say, Carla?
Hey, let's let Carla, she's the new mom.
All right, throwing it up to Carla. CC.
Well, I have a lot of theories on what's going on, but I just have to say it's so hard being a new mom and having this lockdown, going through pregnancy and not having like the ability to go to support groups. Everything's been online, and you know, now wanting to do mommy and me classes, I can't do that. I can't go to the gym, you know, get my mom bod back, and it's a crazy time, and I'm not down with it. I really miss being able to gather in community and supportive spaces, and I'm really like just not. I'm ready to get to their side because I want to know what is the purpose. Why are they doing this? You know, they talk about control, population control, mind control. It's just beyond me why we have to go through this, and I'm doing my best to be patient and get to the other side. Because it's hard, man.
Yeah. I think we all agree with that.
Yep. How the whole world is in on this is beyond me, to be honest with you. And I don't know who has any theory about that. I think I've talked about it before, but I just don't quite have a handle on that. If somebody's watching and wants to share, or if anybody here knows about why the whole world is in on this same thing. But, you know, if they do unlock the world, or at least America or California, what would you want in place? I mean, should we should we have masks? You know, should we continue with the mask concept so we should be open, or do we just throw all that away?
Should we all get rebreathers that cover our whole head and face and body, and just everybody transition over to like combat
That's a big
armor?
issue. You know, there's folks out there, they just don't use their common sense. And common sense does not rule the day. And that's part of the punishment to us, the children, because common sense, when you're dealing with so many people, it is tough. Again, I wouldn't want to be a politician, but then again, if you're looking at a model, California is not the model for the rest of the country right now.
Okay. It sounds like we went all the way around the circle with that one. I'd like to push it on to the next topic. It sounded like you mentioned masks. Why don't we just roll into that? Like, so now we're here at the mask level. What's next? It's permanent. Why not? It is in Asia. I mean, in Bangkok, they've been wearing masks for pollution purposes for over 20 years, man. So maybe this is just new normal. What do you guys think? I'll toss the hot minute over to Zach.
I like that Carla brought up mind control, and you know, it's a form of submission for the elitists to know what they can get away with. I think with the masks, I don't think they work personally. I've been out busking, playing without a mask. I've never gotten sick. I've never gotten anyone else sick that I know. It's satanic in a way too, if you think about it. Masks. I don't know if you ever seen Eyes Wide Shut, but it's a way of conforming people, and it's non-individualistic at the same time. Last night, me and Jay were watching the news, and I thought it was hilarious that this guy makes masks that mimic your face and you're smiling. It's like, wow, it's almost like doublespeak. You know, I don't know if you've ever read 1984, but it's like, okay, you're putting on something to conform, but we'll make it look like your face and you're smiling and you're happy to wear the mask. It's all submission. It's like bend over shit is in slave. That's how I feel about it. So I'll stop there.
That's a hot minute. Who are you going to throw it over to, Zach?
I agree. And
I'll toss it to Steve. Yeah. Sorry.
it is about control. And you know, there's a couple professors from Columbia back in the 60s wrote a paper. They're called Cloward Peven, Cloward PIVEN. And it's about overloading the system with, again, control medical, control the money, and control the job situation, and make people rely on government, crash the system. And this is something that, if you do a lot of reading, you'll see how it has been used in this country, how it's being used in other countries, and this was all predicted. So again, I don't want to get into the he said, she said, and the Dems versus the Republicans, but we are not heading toward the light right now. And with the stimulus money, and people do need it without a doubt. We could all use a little burst of free money. But what are we going to do with that? Going to pay your rent? Going to pay your electric bill? Going to go buy a six-pack? What are you going to do with it? And what did you do to create the problem where you needed it, although we all do need it? And being reliant on government is exactly what they want right now. They want us to suck the tit of that government. And then the bottom line is, we're going to have to pay that back someday. It's got to get paid back. And this is exactly what is happening right now in our government. And this was all predicted 50, 60 years ago.
Where you tossing that potato, man?
Let's go back to Carla. I enjoy hearing from a new mom.
What's your take, Carla?
Well, it's hard. I mean, wearing the new mask is so crazy when you wear it around the baby. She's like, she doesn't get it. She's trying to figure out what's going on, and I don't like masking my emotions. I think it's crazy. I miss being able to share a good smile. I do my best to smile with my eyes when I interact with other humans right now. I follow the mask because I don't want to create an issue. It's just not worth it for me to have a point of conflict, while I would rather not wear a mask. And it's interesting. I'm interested to see where it goes, but I just, this whole reality right now is really challenging for me. It's hard for me to talk about, because it bums me out. It bums me out that we are in a reality where there are forces trying to take control. It's just not the life I'm envisioning. It's not the 2020 vision I had, and
Yeah, a lot of us hear that.
I don't know what it's going to take to get over that, to get over the hump. I want to be there, and I'll do whatever it takes to help us get there.
All right, who you
I mean,
throwing
now-
that potato to?
I'll throw it to Jay. I want to hear what Jay has to say.
Well, I wear condoms so I don't have babies. And so, I wear a mask sometimes so I don't get sick, And so I want to listen to the medical people today. I want people to listen to the medical people also. And I want the medical people to be heard, And I think that we don't give that realm, or we haven't given that realm for some reason, the credit that they need. And we choose, I don't know how, so,
We're with you, man.
if
we
wearing
don't
a
know how to
mask,
do
if wearing a
it.
mask is going to open the economy up, I'd rather open the economy up and wear the mask and be
Okay.
smart about it and move forward like that. I mean, we have to take a look at other countries and how they deal with this. So this is back to social studies again. How do other countries deal with this type of stuff? How do other people deal with it in other worlds? And like what you mentioned earlier, somebody mentioned earlier, wherever China and wherever else it is, that it's common to wear masks all the time. And we just have to grow as humans and understand that this is what it's going to take to live on our planet.
Wow.
Now, it'd be nice that if it's not true, but apparently in some cultures it's freaking true, and it's part of their culture that they wear masks all the time. We're just humans on this planet, and if we don't have the right stuff going on, we're gonna get sick. So anyway,
All right, well, that's your minute. I'm going
And
to
then
step
who's
in
this?
on the mask
The-
minute.
go ahead. I'm done.
So for me, I think it's just simple. It's not about whether it works or not or compliance. It's about looking like a ninja. So I pretty much have spent my whole life trying to look like a ninja. So wearing a ninja mask with the ninja hood being normal for everybody, that's just good business for me. I can run around and no one know who I am, and I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to have small conversation anymore. So I say all hail the mask, and I'm very happy that it's in vogue. Eventually, it's going to fall off, and they're going to use the same techniques of fear and all of that, no matter what. So why don't we just go out there, get some really cool masks on, and enjoy the fashion? Eventually, it'll go away. And that's my minute. What's next, Jay?
Luke Little dies. He was going to be a congressman and elect.
Ooh, yeah,
And,
Lego.
he died from coronavirus. He was 41 years old.
Um,
I don't think he was wearing a mask.
He was definitely not wearing a mask.
I don't think so.
That's a real thing, isn't it? Mask shaming,
yeah.
anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers. Isn't that
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
And
become our own
vaxxers and
self-belief?
maskers.
Isn't that a
It's
form
all
of control?
bipolar now, man. You're either on this side or that side. Like
It's-
I don't. Like I said, it's a fashion statement. All right, Jay.
So are we?
What's the next?
Are we gonna
topic?
get the? Are we? That's all right. Are we gonna get the $2,000 or $600 or what kind of
Nah.
stimulus are we gonna get now? Because of
McConnell
all
said
this?
no.
I
Huh?
heard the 600's already in the bank account.
Yeah, 600 got sent, but McConnell said no on the 2,000.
I think we're going to get inflation, and you
If they
can't eat
ever
money,
let the
can you?
interest rate up.
You can't
Crazy.
eat money. I mean, like, you can get all the money you want, but if there's no goods, you know, like, a lot of people don't understand that people have to produce goods in order for there to be food in the market. You know, so if people aren't producing anything, what's the money good for?
Well, right
And-
now, I would probably
Absolutely
buy
nothing.
a truck or something like that with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I spoke out of turn.
Right.
No worries. And so anyway, Jay, what's the next topic?
Well, there was a big bombing in Nashville. What do you guys know about that?
I don't know
Yeah.
nothing about it.
Nothing about it?
The bomber died. They're looking in to see, they talked to some people and said he had cancer, wasn't long for this world anyway. Said he wasn't a bad guy. I mean, there's a lot of things they don't know about it. And, you know, why did he pick I mean, he told people to leave that area. He knew exactly what he was doing. So, and the question is, why did he do that? Why, again, to take your life is just horrible. But he didn't want to take other people with him. But he took buildings and he destroyed things. But he didn't want to take others with him. It's a little nutty.
That is way nutty. Jay, you
Yep.
got any more info on it?
It just destroyed the businesses too because they were, they've been affected by COVID and everything else and the shutdowns. And then they were, now the actual structures of the buildings are shook up too.
Now insurance is going to pay for that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay.
Insurance is
Yeah.
taking a hit.
Yeah.
Nashville.
Let's talk about a plug for insurance now. Okay, that's a good segue. So today is the final day to enroll for Cover California if you're in California, and for January 1st start date. And then, of course, we have all of next month to enroll, and you can have a February 1st start date. That's for health insurance, affordable health care plans in California. Everyone'scovered.com. Give me a call. Okay.
Okay.
So
How about we do a topic?
Wait, we're
And
talking about
toss
the
the hot
Nashville
potato.
bombing.
Here we go.
Can I have a minute on that?
yeah.
Go for it.
So Christmas morning I was in Fresno, and my cousin who lives in Portland, he was like, this is a planned attack in order for Trump to declare martial law. So when he said that, I'm like, okay, based on that rhetoric, this could be a false flag attack in order to make it seem like that. I don't know if I believe that. I think this is definitely an inside job. I think the CIA was behind this. I think they're destroying evidence of some sort. And I've heard a few different theories. I've heard the false flag theory, like it had something to do with 5G. There's about there's all this paranoia about 5G and coronavirus, and it either amplifying coronavirus or actually causing coronavirus, which is thought to be an alt-right conspiracy theory. Who knows if that is, or maybe it's destroying evidence of election fraud.
Wow. Okay. That was pretty encompassing. All the theories.
I'm not sure
Anybody
what to
else?
believe. It's just what I've heard.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's amazing. That's a lot of it. That's
Dude,
That's
I look
heavy
at
duty.
podcasts all day, so
That's all we got on that. Roll to the next one, Jay.
what? Okay, good. All right. Well, it looks as if.
should I toss the potato on that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if someone else wants it,
let's mash
I'm
it.
good.
Just mash the potato.
Gary, you want that potato?
Thanks.
Nobody wants to talk about it. All right, that's fine.
I'm a globetrotter, bro. All right, Jay, keep it rolling.
All right. All right. So it looks like we have another vaccine. Speaking of the shutdown and everything else and opening back up, regulators in the United Kingdom may approve COVID-19 vaccine from AstraZeneca
Right.
and the University of Oxford as of today. According to reports, the UK would be the first to green light the vaccine, and the drug would become the third available in the country to fight the coronavirus vaccine from Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna already being administered.
All right.
And apparently, it was supposed to be higher, like 100% efficacy. It was listed as a higher efficacy.
Wow, that sounds crazy. How could
Yeah,
they even
it's-
judge that?
Say again?
How could they even say 100%? That seems
I don't
crazy.
know. I'll have to look for that again. But yeah, that's what I heard on the news. But what I'm looking at here doesn't show that.
Well, AstraZeneca shut down. I mean, their clinical trials a while back, they shut it down because they were getting all kinds of weird things happening. But we talked about this the other day, and here's my question is, okay, Pfizer came out with something. They were first in the market. Why didn't they take their recipe and instead of everyone come up with their own stuff, why didn't they share that so everyone can be making a vaccine that works? We would be in mass production at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, how many manufacturers are out there with that recipe that works, and we'd have so many vaccines available right now because everyone would have been producing them all this time because somebody had something that worked. So why didn't they share that instead of everyone coming up with something on their own? Because I got mine, now you got to go get yours. Why didn't they say, I got mine, now I'm going to share the recipe and do this, and we can go and we can spread this all over the world really quickly? Why didn't they do that?
I don't know. If you want to toss it my way, Steve, I can
God.
run on that. So my minute on that is pretty straightforward. When they started out doing research, they have different, what they call clinical trial paths. And so some of them were RNA, some of them were a combination of using different stem cells, and they had different paths. So when they started doing research, they had already splintered. So it's not like they could just take one and then copy it over here. No, because it took them like 6 or 7 months of the most hardcore, intensive discovery and research and able to ramp up. And so by the time they get to that point where they're learning efficacy rates, there's $1 billion into it. So that's why it's not cookie cutter. Is because
but
they
now
all
have
started
one
out.
that works. Right. They all did it differently. They spend tons of money. That's what they do to make tons of money.
So they
But
have to
somebody-
bring a cure to the market or a vaccine.
But somebody did,
So
and
that's
they
why.
could have shared that cure. They all could have stopped and said, we don't have to do any more research.
Mm-mm.
We have something
That's
that
not how
works.
business works, Steve. Honestly, they can't. They got billions of
Capitalism.
dollars wrapped up in delivering their product. They can't just start making something else. And beyond that, it's proprietary. They
Whose
It's
product
big
is it?
each individual research firm.
Well, who? All right, you gonna pass that or what?
Yeah, you ready?
This
Go.
is medicine to keep people alive or in the world.
Yeah, agreed. So the Pfizer vaccine is developed by Bill Gates, right? mRNA vaccine. And Bill Gates and Fauci are definitely in cahoots with each other. And Jay, you're talking about us listening to the science and to health officials and whatnot. I don't know if you've ever heard of Kerry Mullis. He created the PCR test, which we're using for Corona, and he never intended that to be used for Corona whatsoever. And he said that Fauci doesn't know anything about anything because it's all administrative. Fauci's in it for the money, and so is Bill Gates. Bill Gates is not the philanthropist that he makes himself out to be. And you should see what he has to say about the vaccine. He said, "Oh, it's not that bad. It just might be extremely painful at first." And he's just lying through his teeth, man. I really don't trust the mRNA vaccine because of the way it operates. It modifies your genes. Remember the glow in the dark monkeys I was showing you last night, Jay? All right, it sounds crazy, but it's a real thing. They were developed in 2004, 2008 or something like that. You can find this article really easily. It's this jellyfish gene that, you'll light up under like UV light or something like that. So this mRNA vaccine supposedly has this jellyfish glow in the dark gene. So what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to travel or stay in a hotel unless you have the vaccine.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what it is, but we agree. So our bridge is right there. It's the money, Steve. That's why they can't cookie cutter roll it out. There's too much money involved. Anybody else?
Did AstraZeneca say that they didn't want to profit by this?
But
one of
not
them said
profiting
here-
doesn't mean not bringing a vaccine to bear that's subsidized by the government. You got to understand business. That's not how it works.
Okay, we're here. Now the next question would be, with the vaccine, if it was offered to you today, would you take it?
Fuck
Ooh.
no.
Where are you testing? Where are you sending that? Who wants that hot potato? Anybody?
Jay?
Nobody.
I'm not gonna take it right
I'm not
now.
gonna
Thank you.
said no.
That's what everyone's saying.
Huh?
Hell
Nobody
no.
wants to take it.
I think I'm gonna wait another month.
gonna
or
wait till
something. This is-
Broadway
watch it
reopens.
work its way through work its way through.
Yeah.
I'm not being offered it. I'm not going to be offered it at all for a while.
Mhm.
But that's why I have to be careful.
Anybody
That's
else?
not a
Hot minute?
sign of faith.
Huh?
That's not a sign of faith in the science. You were talking about the science. There's faith in the science.
Zing.
Gotcha.
Hey,
Gotcha.
you know what? That's my science. I'm watching and observing.
I mean, something fishy is going on here. Have you guys heard about nurses dropping dead or catching COVID from this?
Hold on. Anybody else want a minute on the previous topic? All right, cool. Go ahead, Zach. You got a minute. Let's do it.
There's this nurse. I'm trying to remember her name. Hold on one second. It's in Alabama. I gotta look it up really quick. But she took the vaccine, and there's a video of her passing out on camera. She actually wound up dying last week.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll find her name in a second, but they're trying to cover it up. So obvious to me, there's something fishy going on. I don't trust the vaccine whatsoever. I don't buy into what the news is saying about the virus in general. So why am I going to take this vaccine? It's all submission, form of control, and if I can't fly for a year or two, that's fine. I don't really need to go out of the country. In fact, I need to stay in this country and stand up for our rights. What is it? Martin Luther King said something like, if the law is just, then you should obey it. But if it's unjust, you should, within your power, do everything you can to disobey it. Right. So peaceful protest is the way to go about it.
Dude, I love it. Zach is nailing these minutes, bro. Anybody else? Nobody else? Next
good.
topic. What's going on, Jay? Where you at in your script?
Well,
I mean, we hit the hour mark. Or
we hit the
30
hour mark.
minutes.
I don't know. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch was sold.
You got a minute on the Neverland Ranch?
Yeah, the Neverland Ranch was sold.
Jeffrey Epstein?
No. That makes sense. $22 million, 2,700 acre ranch
That's
over there in Los
nothing.
Olivos. Yep.
Man, that property worth $65 million. Easy.
It's crazy, huh? To have that kind of money and that kind of property. I don't know what
Can be
anything to say
dead.
about that except that. The king. I think right now I would like to do our year in review
Okay.
video that we put together, and maybe sail off into the sunset. I want to thank you all for being on the show. We put together a little video montage of the year in review, so to speak. We put our own little version together. We whipped it together, so we want to share it with you, and then we'll go and get your feedback after that. How about that?
All right. Here we go.
Here we go. The year of loss in review. Looking at 2020 so clearly now in the rearview mirror. In January, the year started out like most, with hope for the future. Trump's impeachment trials were just beginning on January 16th. Then, the trials and tribulations began when a star athlete, Kobe Bryant, and his daughter, Gianna, only 13 years old, died in a tragic helicopter crash, just being a dad and supporting his kids' basketball team, with others also. In the same paper, the discussion of COVID-19 race for a vaccine and a death related to COVID-19 on the same day. Then on February 6th, many horrible stories from Italy of being overwhelmed with the coronavirus and its rising death toll. Trump was acquitted. He was still our leader. Trump did shut down the airplanes to China. Good job. Just not enough. Who won the Super Bowl? The 49ers lost to Kansas City Chiefs. Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old African-American woman, was fatally shot in her Louisville, Kentucky apartment on March 13th when white plainclothes officers riddled her door with bullets without notice. Protests began for Breonna. On March 16th, the day before green was good, we shut down the country as a result of COVID-19 and little green particles floating in the sky looking for our noses. COVID-19 closure was in full swing. It was a March Madness. At the end of April, the US Navy and Pentagon says UFOs are real. Duh, as if we didn't know. I think this is when I called Josh and said, hey, what are you doing? Can you help me with a show concept? And he said, Nanu Nanu. In May, we stopped to mourn the loss of so many on Memorial Day. Then the next day, George Floyd was murdered by the police in Minneapolis, Minnesota in broad daylight. This stirred up the Black Lives Matter organization into full swing. All over the world did it breathe in protests to this public murder. In June, Ahmaud Arbery was shot jogging while black in Georgia. Continuing the racial tension and divide, Rob Reiner, a comedic genius of old, also was taken in June. In July, we lost John Lewis, a great national icon who followed the footsteps of MLK's nonviolence mindset. Herman Cain, who ran for president, also sadly died from the coronavirus. We also lost Regis Philbin, a fellow game show host who holds the longest record of just being on TV. Charlie Daniels was also negotiating with the devil during this month. And Hugh Downs, a household name and newscaster, passed away. August shook the lives around here with the death of a local rock star, Troy Ocean. Then, to the likes of Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther. Both were amazing entertainers and human beings. September, we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg, another national icon within the Supreme Court. In October, we lost the guitar virtuoso Eddie Van Halen and one of our 007 secret agents, Sean Connery. The Miami Heat also lost to the Lakers, who won in the bubble at Walt Disney World the NBA championship. The Tampa Bay Rays lost to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who took the World Series. In November, we lost another great TV game show, Alex Trebek from Jeopardy. We also lost Darth Vader, actor David Prowse, Then in December, we lost another Star Wars actor, the original Boba Fett, Jeremy Bullock. Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley, David Lander, also passed. And on December 17th, the Electoral College voted out Trump. Congratulations to Biden and Harris. 2020 is not over, but it has taken so many lives, and we want to take a moment to honor the many that passed away from COVID-19 and natural causes. Thank you for sharing your lives with us and enriching us all. Not bad, not bad.
There
Thank you
have
very much, Josh, for putting that together.
it. Hey, Jay, you wrote the script.
Hey,
Said the words. I just
yeah,
made the
so that was
pictures.
our little year in review wrap up. Any thoughts about that wrap up, you guys?
Yeah, and the BLM protests, where were their masks?
Around their
They'd
face?
be the first people to shame me for not wearing a mask. I can tell you what.
Hell, you would.
Tell you what.
That's the Hollister coming out in me.
Oh, you need to get a mask that says what on it.
It's gonna be a little nutty. Just because we're moving the calendar to another year doesn't mean all this is going to magically just disappear. It's still going to be a lot of work for our leaders and a lot of work for us, the citizens. And I think, it's going to start grassroots. We, again, have to use common sense, distance. They want us to wear these things, I'm not going to say no. But there are some things I am going to say no to. And I would like to see our restaurants here open up for outdoor dining, or at least our leaders getting together and trying to have them open. And if it gets rejected, at least we know they're trying. Let's try something. Let's try something.
I'm
And
with
I'd like
that.
to see our leaders try and follow their own rules too.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
100%.
They don't follow their. So then, as
They're not
we-
scared.
what is there to believe in? I mean, where's the faith?
Yeah.
And if we lost it, what does that do to our own core, our own soul?
Rough.
It's not nice out there. And I like what I do, because in our January issue of Foolish Times, we did our best to not use the word coronavirus or anything else. It's been played. We're trying to turn the page on other things.
Yeah.
It's hard to find one of our papers because people are reading. People are looking for things that we're offering because they're tired of the regurgitation of the news.
Yep.
And
Me too.
I'm glad for what I can offer. And but at the same time, we're over it as far as the comedy. It's old. We're moving on to other things for the new year.
Yeah. I feel you. I'll tell you what, right now,
Contagious.
I'm in Cleveland, and they have the second largest theater district in the country, and literally all shut down. Broadway shut down until next June. And so Broadway is the leader in terms of touring. So if Broadway's not touring, rock and roll's not touring, the symphony's not touring, the ballet's not. So as soon as Broadway comes back online, all the logistics companies will wake up and will break back into production. But what happens if they cut the profit amount for each house in half by forcing them to have one person between each seat in order to be able to match the rules? Let's do the numbers. Well, I'll tell you right now, the people that own the Golden State Theater would only have about 6 shows a year because they don't make tens of thousands of dollars off of every single show. There are the big sellout highline shows, but a lot of those shows, they're making, let's just say, several grand, and the hands are getting $2,000. The bar's getting $4,000. The performers themselves are getting $15,000, $20,000, depending on who it is. And so you look at those numbers, and if Broadway doesn't go back on tour, then no one else will. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Pushing cases, hoisting lights, loading an arbor loading job would be nice. Building a platform, watching the riggers raise monster truss in the sky, that'd be great. But as for me, on the whole thing, I think we lose this many every year. I don't think there was more people died this year than regular. I think it just was so restrictive and we all felt repressed and oppressed. And so essentially everything was worse. I mean, only in the last, since we had our kid, I've really tried to focus on the positive, really just stay to my own, I guess, theories and conspiracies, not buying into anything else. And the last month or so, we've been doing really good. We've been in our own bubble. We've been enjoying each other's company. We've been creative, making music, making art. So I think this year turned out terrible, but I don't know. I see a way through. I'm not worried about being controlled or mind control or mass control or any control because my parents couldn't control me. My ex couldn't control me. My current can't control me. I can't control me sometimes. So, yeah, that's not really a fear because if you're afraid of being in control, then that's them working their mojo on you. And so what you have to do is ignore all that bullshit and do like Zach. Get out there, do your thing, play music, make money. And I think this next year I'm focusing on online businesses. That's it. I see online business as the only sustainable reality in which you can make money without any risk. As far as not just COVID, but you know, any other kind of disease or any other kind of social contact. Sick and tired of people in general. I think last year when I was working at Jade Lounge and it got real deep and seedy. And I was glad to be bailed out of that. So being put on ice for a year and a half or two, that's fine. I got my online broadcast game, is out of control. And Jedi Lights and Sound, doing online consulting. So this is actually a boon for me. So this actually makes me feel like I'm catching up. I'm building skill sets before they're needed. I have the equipment in inventory. Things like my sound system and my light system. Yeah, they're no good for doing shows right now, but they will be here in a few months next year. So I'm using this time to set up my mind, body, spirit, soul, and my partnerships and my relationships everywhere in order to be successful in this environment. So my last word is adapt, adapt, adapt. That's it.
Very good.
Anybody else?
I think you're doing a great job of producing this show, Josh.
Oh, thanks, Zach.
Yeah,
I
man.
really appreciate
Thank
that,
you
man.
very much,
It's been
Zach.
a lot of hard work.
No, it's great, and you've done a great job on it.
Thank you.
I'll let everyone have their last word. Before
Okay.
we go, I'll play a song for us to close this
I
out.
love that.
That'd be great. That'd be great,
You're
Zach.
freaking awesome. Jay?
Well, I
Carla?
just want to say, unless anybody has anything else to say, I'm gonna just say that want to thank everybody for being here. Thank all of the people that have participated in all the shows in the year 2020 so far, and this year, if this year didn't happen, we wouldn't have gotten this show off the ground. You know what I mean?
That's it.
It's like
It's true. I've always been too
There's
busy
some positive
to learn all
in
this
it.
stuff, so
What was that?
I've always been too busy to dive deeper and really make this stuff work. So thank you, COVID, for that. I don't know. Thank you, Trump, for that. I don't know. Thank
Yeah,
you,
no.
Democrats. Who do I
So-
thank for having a wonderful life and succeeding in spite of all this craziness?
Exactly. Well, we have each other right now, and I just wanted to point out the Great Internet Debate game show. Josh has worked hard on creating the website. We're gonna go through another facelift here soon. We have the greatinternetdebate.com. We have the facebook.com, the Great Internet Debate page, and we have also the facebook.com/hot topic hot potato, which is not on there, and then we have our patreon.com. The Great Internet Debate. So if you like what you're seeing here today and you want to promote or sponsor us
involved.
or support us, you can go there and participate. Pick a plan and sponsor us.
Steve, any last words for 2020?
It wasn't a great year, and I know how it affected me personally, financially, spiritually, and we're all in this together, and we could all be pissing and moaning, kicking up our heels, and that's okay. I think it's good, but we also, as much as we're bitching or we're coming up with these things, we are also lending conspiracies and what we're doing to make things better. And even though we can't make things better globally, we can make things better for ourselves and those around us. And to be a good example, there are things we should follow. And, just because there's rules, like I said, we don't follow all of them, but we don't got to be an asshole about it. We don't have to always be gloom and doom, because there are people that think like we do and people that don't think like we do. And that's what makes up the world. But it is about, protecting yourself. It's about moving forward. If you're finding more traction online for your business, hip hip hooray. And adaptation, we're always going to adapt. And but you got to ask yourself too. We talked before we went on about if the alien thing was going to come up. I would have loved to talk about that. Someone looking down, thinking, you know what, we're going to correct their shit, or we're going to wipe them out and start another species. Maybe we're not supposed to be here forever, and this is our time. But it is weird out there, but we don't have to make it any bad weirder. Let's make it more fun weirder and healthy weirder. And it's okay then.
Yes.
It's weird and I love it.
Yeah.
Pretty weird in there right now.
Do your
He's calling all aliens.
I believe.
Hey, all right, Zach.
Weird out.
I think you want to take us out on a song?
I got you. Yeah, let's do this. I wrote this before Christmas. It's a little outdated, I guess, but I call it Illusions of Freedom. So here we go.
Very cool.
It's all conspiracy versus tyranny. The truth got lost on you. All these sheep believe in anything that they see on the news. Blind to hypocrisy, keep virtue signaling. Liberty means nothing to you, so put your stars on. I'll be another part of the problem, doing what you're told. Illusions of freedom, to put your country out of business, just in time for Christmas. There's always empty chairs for those who should be here. Some are just deaths of despair. It happens every year. People disappear. This one's been a blur. I felt the shadows go to the twilight zone. Amygdala's overgrown, so put your stars on. I'll be another part of the problem, doing what you're told. Illusions of freedom, to put your country out of business, to put your country out of business. Yeah, just in time for Christmas. All right, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
For the aliens, we got 180 days, boys. Give it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Hot Topic, Hot Potato, Roundtable Discussion, Year in Wrap-Up.
Thank you, everybody. See you next year.
It was a fun joke. I really enjoyed it.